Okay.
Okay, most couples, when they go out on a date, the waiter automatically assumes that they're going to pay together. But when my parents go out on a date, the waiter usually assumes that they're going to pay separately. Everywhere I go with my stepdad, Alvin, I'd always get strange looks. And it wasn't until about 5 years ago when I noticed what those strange looks were for. Biracial relationships are so extremely rare that people don't really process what's actually going on. Those people that were looking at me funny, that I was being kidnapped or something. The lesson I learned is that you should never judge a book by its cover, especially when it comes to race. My parents used to own a medical company, so they'd go and help elderly people almost every single day. And one day, Alvin went to go help this elderly woman, Dottie, and when he went to her house, she wouldn't even let him inside because she thought he was going to go rob her or something, and she actually made him go stand outside and ask questions. But then Alvin ended up taking care of her and her husband until her husband died. And because of that, Alvin really earned her trust, and basically it changed her opinion about other races completely. Every single time we go to an airport, Alvin usually gets patted down, so we usually had to plan to go to the airport a little earlier because of that, just because it wastes so much time. But it's not just Alvin and my family. Most of my family are actually in biracial relationships. In fact, I can really only name one person in my family who's not in a biracial relationship. So I have African American, Hispanic, and Korean people in my family. And because of this, there's a lot of mixed children in my family too, along with my two half-sisters, Zena and Athena. Zena especially looks extremely Hispanic. And usually, sometimes when she goes out with my mom will actually get pulled to the side and ask if she's adopted, which just to me seems extremely inappropriate. Because to me, I'm so used to this kind of stuff, because I have been around this since I was 3 years old, and my whole family has been exposed to this their whole lives. So basically, the lesson I learned is don't judge a book by its cover, because it honestly just really hurts people. Like, Alvin tells me stories all the time. That's how I know all this stuff. And I hope you guys can learn that too, especially in Vinton. It's mainly white people. I mean, there's like no Hispanics here, so Alvin is an extreme minority, and he gets a lot of grief from it daily. So in conclusion, if you see a white girl with an adult male of a different race does not mean she's getting kidnapped. And just because you see a couple or two people out on a date of different races does not mean that they're just coworkers. So all in all, don't judge a book by its cover.